does it really matter who wins between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics? I'm going to make the case that it really doesn't matter who's going to win. Tonight we have Game 7 between the Heat and the Celtics, and I'm picking the Celtics slightly just because of the defensive aspect. I think Jimmy Butler will have a big game, but overall, I think the Boston Celtics will win. I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will show up. I'm hoping at least one of them does, more so Tatum rather than Brown, and I think the defensive aspect will play a big part in the Miami Heat really not being able to get something going. But when I'm looking at the teams, comparing them to Golden State, I just don't see a team that really is going to give a hard time, let's say, to Golden State. Now, when we're looking at the Boston Celtics, if you're looking at the roster and you can take out someone, if it's Tatum, if it's Brown, even if it's an Al Horford, because Al Horford is underrated and has a presence for whatever reason. He can shoot the three, and he's just a high basketball IQ kind of player. But if you take out Tatum or Brown, I just don't see someone who can take over the game. And with this team, you need a little bit of consistency. You're not really getting it from Grant Williams, which I think is underrated because he can have those nights, and he showed it in these playoffs. Marcus Smart isn't going to get you 30 points, but he's going to be a defensive presence, obviously being the rated DPOY. But outside of that, can you really make the case that Derek White, Robert Williams, who's been unhealthy? I just don't see a consistent guy if you take their two stars out, or if you just take one of them out. If you take a Jaylen Brown out, who's going to pick up that slack? If you take out Jason Tatum, who's going to pick up that slack? And the Boston Celtics have a history of just not showing up for random games. Now, you can look at their playoff run and say that they've gone over some hills and they've been the best defensive team in the entire league. But I just don't trust, if you take out Tatum or Brown or Horford, that I think the Boston Celtics could get over the hump that is the Golden State Warriors. Now on the other side, you have the Miami Heat. Bam has been back and forth, but he's a great young player. Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler. You know who that is. Kyle Lowry, he's more of a facilitator. He's not going to get you 30. He can, but he probably won't. Tyler Hero's been hit or miss. Same thing with the rest of the team. I like Victor Oladipo coming off the bench, but again, it's just back and forth. Now, PJ Tucker is a good player, but he's there more for defense. Couple threes. Same thing with Max Struss. And this is just another team that if you can take out a player, the Golden State Warriors will beat you. And i.e. Jimmy Butler or a Kyle Lowry. Not anyone else is really going to pick up the slack. You can make the case for Bam, but at the same time, he's been inconsistent. And that's the key word that I want to focus on, is consistency. And the Golden State Warriors have that consistency. You're telling me that the Heat and the Celtics are going to be able to shut down Curry, Green, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins of all people, and I just don't see it. Gary Payton is coming back. Kevon Looney has stepped up. Everyone is stepped up, and it seems like Andre Iguodala will be back for the finals as well. So you're going to tell me that the Heat and or the Celtics are going to be able to stop the Golden State Warriors? I just don't see that happening. Too much consistency, too much experience, mind you, too much experience in the championship ways, just being in that type of environment, and just overall being the better team. And you talk about firepower, the Miami Heat are going to have to click on every single cylinder to try and beat the Golden State Warriors. And the Boston Celtics are going to have to play the best defense that the league has ever seen in the history of the game to stop someone like a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, so on and so forth. And I just don't see that happening on a consistent basis in 4 games. I just don't see it happening. Let us know in the comment section below what you think about the Golden State Warriors, who they're going to face, who's a better opponent for them, and for the Boston Celtics, who makes a better opponent for the Golden State Warriors? Make sure to let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys next time.